Section 19. The corporation, as an instrumentality and agency of the government of the United States for the purpose of executing its constitutional powers, shall have access to the Patent Office of the United States for the purpose of studying, ascertaining, and copying all methods, formulae, and scientific information, not including access to pending applications for patents necessary to enable the corporation to use and employ the most efficacious and economical process for the production of fixed nitrogen, or any essential ingredient of fertilizer, or any method of improving and cheapening the production of hydroelectric power, and any owner of a patent, whose patent rights may have been thus in any way copied, used, infringed, or employed by the exercise of this authority by the corporation shall have, as the exclusive remedy, a cause of action against the corporation, to be instituted and prosecuted on the equity side of the appropriate District Court of the United States for the recovery of reasonable compensation for such infringement. The Commissioner of Patents shall furnish to the corporation, at its request, and without payment of fees, copies of documents on file in his office, provided that the benefits of this section shall not apply to any art, machine, method of manufacture, or composition of matter, discovered or invented by such employee during the time of his employment or services with the corporation, or with the government of the United States. Section 20. The government of the United States hereby reserves the right, in case of war or national emergency declared by Congress, to take possession of all or any part of the property described or referred to in this act for the purpose of manufacturing explosives or for other war purposes. But, if this right is exercised by the government, it shall pay the reasonable and fair damages that may be suffered by any party whose contract for the purchase of electric power or fixed nitrogen or fertilizer ingredients is hereby violated, after the amount of the damages has been fixed by the United States Court of Claims in proceedings instituted and conducted for that purpose under rules prescribed by the court. Section 21. A. All general penal statutes relating to the larceny, embezzlement, conversion, or to the improper handling, retention, use, or disposal of public monies or property of the United States shall apply to the monies and property of the corporation, and to monies and properties of the United States entrusted to the corporation. B. Any person who, with intent to defraud the corporation, or to deceive any director, officer, or employee of the corporation, or any officer or employee of the United States, 1. Makes any false entry in any book of the corporation, or 2. Makes any false report or statement for the corporation, shall, upon conviction thereof, be fined not more than $10,000, or imprisoned not more than 5 years, or both. C. Any person who shall receive any compensation, rebate, or reward, or shall enter into any conspiracy, collusion, or agreement, express or implied, with intent to defraud the corporation, or wrongfully and unlawfully to defeat its purposes, shall, on conviction thereof, be fined not more than $5,000, or imprisoned not more than 5 years, or both. Section 22. To aid for the proper use, conservation, and development of the natural resources of the Tennessee River drainage basin, and of such adjoining territory as may be related to, or materially affected by the development consequent to this act, and to provide for the general welfare of the citizens of said areas, the President is hereby authorized, by such means or methods as he may deem proper within the limits of appropriations made therefor by Congress, to make such surveys of and general plans for said Tennessee Basin and adjoining territory as may be useful to the Congress and to the several states in guiding and controlling the extent, sequence, and nature of development that may be equitably and economically advanced through the expenditure of public funds, or through the guidance or control of public authority, all for the general purpose of fostering an orderly and proper physical, economic, and social development of said areas. And the President is further authorized in making said surveys and plans to cooperate with the states affected thereby, or subdivisions or agencies of such states, or with cooperative or other organizations, and to make such studies, experiments, or demonstrations as may be necessary and suitable to that end. Section 23. The President shall, from time to time, as the work provided for in the preceding section progresses, recommend to Congress such legislation as he deems proper to carry out the general purposes stated in said section, and for the especial purpose of bringing about in said Tennessee drainage basin and adjoining territory in conformity with said general purposes. 1. The maximum amount of flood control. 2. The maximum development of said Tennessee River for navigation purposes. 3. The maximum generation of electric power consistent with flood control and navigation. 4. The proper use of marginal lands. 5. The proper method of reforestation of all lands in said drainage basin suitable for reforestation. And 6. The economic and social well-being of the people living in said river basin. Section 24. For the purpose of securing any rights of flowage, or obtaining title to or possession of any property, real or personal, that may be necessary, or may become necessary, in the carrying out of any of the provisions of this Act, the President of the United States, for a period of 3 years from the date of the enactment of this Act, is hereby authorized to acquire title, in the name of the United States, to such rights, or such property, and to provide for the payment for same by directing the Board to contract to deliver power generated at any of the plants now owned, or hereafter owned or constructed by the government, or by said corporation, such future delivery of power to continue for a period not exceeding 30 years. Likewise, for 1 year after the enactment of this Act, the President is further authorized to sell or lease any parcel or part of any vacant real estate now owned by the government in said Tennessee River Basin to persons, firms, or corporations who shall contract to erect thereon factories or manufacturing establishments, and who shall contract to purchase of said corporation electric power for the operation of any such factory or manufacturing establishment. No contract shall be made by the President for the sale of any of such real estate as may be necessary for present or future use on the part of the government for any of the purposes of this Act. Any such contract made by the President of the United States shall be carried out by the Board, provided that no such contract shall be made that will in any way abridge or take away the preference right to purchase power given in this Act to states, counties, municipalities, or farm organizations, provided further that no lease shall be for a term to exceed 50 years, provided further that any sale shall be on condition that said land shall be used for industrial purposes only. Section 25. The corporation may cause proceedings to be instituted for the acquisition by condemnation of any lands, easements, or rights of way which, in the opinion of the corporation, are necessary to carry out the provisions of this Act. The proceedings shall be instituted in the United States District Court for the district in which the land, easement, right of way, or other interest, or any part thereof, is located, and such court shall have full jurisdiction to divest the complete title to the property sought to be acquired out of all persons or claimants, and vest the same in the United States in fee simple, and to enter a decree quieting the title thereto in the United States of America. Upon the filing of a petition for condemnation, and for the purpose of ascertaining the value of the property to be acquired, and assessing the compensation to be paid, the court shall appoint 3 commissioners, who shall be disinterested persons, and who shall take and subscribe an oath that they do not own any lands, or interest or easement in any lands, which it may be desirable for the United States to acquire in the furtherance of said project, and such commissioners shall not be selected from the locality wherein the land sought to be condemned lies. Such commissioners shall receive a per diem of not to exceed $15 for their services, together with an additional amount of $5 per day for subsistence for time actually spent in performing their duties as commissioners.